Hi guys, welcome back, welcome in. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to your Sunday reset, where we just kind of reset, refocus, figure out what we need to let go of, move away from, and refocus our energy on. Before we jump into the reading though, we're going to be using the singing bowl to clear any energy that needs to be cleared, to connect to each other as a collective, and then as a collective to spirit. If you would like to use this time to call on any specific guides, deities, archangels, any beings of light that you would like to be here for this reading, please feel free to do so now. The more, the merrier. All right, guys, let's get into it. Oh, let's switch these around. All right, let's see. Spirit, speak to me and through me to the collective. What do I need to know at this time? What are we moving away from? Leaving in the past week? Sorry, I thought I saw a card flipped over in there, but I guess not. King of Cups, first card out. So last week could have been very emotional. I get, especially towards the end of the week, you yourself could have been very emotional. There could have been people around you that were expressing their emotions to you. Oh my God, what the hell? Okay, that's a lot more than I thought it was. Expressing themselves to you, becoming emotional around you. You could have found yourself, again, becoming more emotional maybe than you're used to. And maybe it's like, seems to be out of nowhere. Maybe you don't really understand where it's coming from. To me, it feels like there's a lot of stuff changing. There's a lot of stuff going on for the vast majority of us, right? There's a lot of shifts happening. Not only is it the new year, it's spring, is what I mean by that. I know it's not January. I understand. Talking about the actual new year in spring, not the one that's they did on the calendar for tax purposes or whatever the fuck. We are in a new year. Things are changing, things are becoming, things are blooming, things are blossoming. Again, shifting, lots of huge shifts. So as it does this, it could bring up a lot of emotions. Don't be surprised if that is the case, especially if you are on any sort of healing journey, any sort of decentering, like outside people, outside influences, and recentering on yourself. There's a lot of changes that you could experience, especially emotionally. You just might be more in tune with not only your emotions, but the energies going on around you and other people's emotions as well. So if you find yourself becoming more of a safe space to others' emotions, and you feel like you can like take on, or that you have the capacity for, exercise your boundaries. You don't have to be anyone else's dumping grounds, emotional punching bag, whatever the case may be. You don't have to if you don't want to. Don't feel bad for putting boundaries in place, especially if you yourself are a very emotional, empathic person. You take on other people's things. It is not your responsibility. And hopefully you're drinking lots of water. If not, go ahead and do that. We got another king out. Okay. Dear God, make me a bite. So these two kings could not be more opposite either. So you could have really conflicting ideas right now, energies. One's telling you to like, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's time to move, kind of acting before you think about things. And the other one is much more not slow moving, because water signs, I wouldn't say water is not slow moving. It can be stagnant. Absolutely. And that's the scariest, worst type of water. This is not that though. This king is very emotionally in tune. He is very emotionally intelligent. He knows how to articulate himself. He knows how to receive. He knows how to, like, all of these things, right? When it comes to expression. This king, on the other hand, is all about his thoughts, is all about um, his words being very clear and concise, but they don't think before they speak. They're very much like, just let whatever fly out of your mouth, and the consequences are the consequences, and the consequences usually hurting someone's feelings, and they're like, well, it's not my fault. I'm just honest. I'm just blunt. It's like, okay, but you're also a dick. Like, two things can be true. Like, you can be honest and you can say things, but it's the way you deliver them, it's the way you say them. This might just be a reminder to watch what you say, who you say it to. This is also pointing to me to trust. Watch who you trust, who you tell things to. I feel like there's just a lot of like outside energy and influence this past week. So let's move away from that. Let's refocus. Let's refocus on if things are changing and we dictate what they're changing into. And we all know we do. We write our own story, we direct it, we star in it, everything, right? So as things are shifting and as you're like approaching what feels like a new era, a new chapter, a new book, even, make sure what you're writing is what you actually want this time. Because it is moving. The wheel, right? This wheel of fortune, it is moving. It is shifting really big things, really big energies around. But this is also an indicator that if things are shifting and it feels like they're shifting to you on the bottom versus on the top, like things are in your favor and then they shift and now, oh shit, they're not working in my favor. If that is the case, it could be an indication you need to take control and you need to figure out what you want and then write that. So that is what you get and that's what you're experiencing versus like, shit's changing again. Such is my luck. It's just the way things are. This is just what happens. Kind of apathetic. Not really taking responsibility. If you don't like the direction that you're going, or if you don't like where you're at currently, change it. Oh wow, now we have the Queen of Cups here. Okay. And she showed up in all of her glory, all of her luxury. This is pre-Empress energy. You have a divine masculine and feminine here. This is really bright, beautiful, excellent energy that is coming in. I feel like this is what Spirit wants us to focus on. They're saying this is what's coming in. If you are this energy, like this is you coming into balance with your feminine and your masculine. Maybe you felt a little more masculine. We have these two kings that came out, so you could feel like you're really in your masculine energy, whether you want to be or not. I feel like it's probably, if you are a feminine, it's probably because you have to be. And when I say that, I mean like provider roles, working, the action parts, the upkeep parts, the doing, right? And having to, like single motherhood, all of these things, but you could be balancing out and letting your divine feminine shine a little bit more, the receptive, being open to receiving, being open to letting people do things for you, helping you, not having to carry the weight. Financial burden is what I'm getting here. Like as you're allowing yourself to step into your feminine and allow yourself to be taken care of, because you can't what am I trying to say? You can't get help if you're not willing to receive it, I think is how, I'm not really sure where I was going with that or how I wanted to word it. The train of thought just kind of left. But you have to open yourself up. be willing to receive, because you can be given things all day. People could want to do things for you all day, but if you're not open to it and you're not receptive to it, you're not going to have it, right? This Nine of Pentacles coming out with the Queen of Wands, the Sun, the Magician. This tells me you are extremely independent, extremely independent. And it's going really well for you. You have, if not right this second, you will have very soon enough to share and to spare. You're going to have enough to take care of yourself and then some, plus take care of anybody, everybody that you want to outside of yourself, outside of your household. This is very fertile, very prosperous, very fruitful. She has an entire vineyard behind her. And these vines are indicative of something that is particularly hard to grow. Like grapes can be kind of finicky. They need the very perfect soil, temperatures, all of these things, right? It's not like not anybody can just grow grapes willy-nilly. But she has an entire vineyard, and it's her. This is feminine energy, single, by herself. Like I'm getting very independent, but I feel like you're potentially slowly maybe opening yourself up to finding someone who is truly your counterpart. It's not anything like what is the saying? Punching down. Is that it? No, I don't think that's the one I'm going for. But like settling, giving yourself to people who don't necessarily deserve it, who haven't shown you anything positive, who haven't done really anything positive, and still emotionally attaching yourself or even karmically attaching yourself to these people. I feel like those days are in the past. This is very you-centered. This is very much focusing on your happiness, your face in the sun is also what I'm getting. It feels like coming out of a time that maybe the sun wasn't shining very much. Maybe you were going through some times that were not like the most fun, the best. Like I feel like you're coming back into your days of having fun, your days of being in the light, being in the sun. Maybe the last few years you haven't really like literally gone out into the sun. Maybe you haven't gone to the pool last few seasons. Maybe you haven't gone to the beach if you live close to that, or if you travel. Maybe you haven't gone on trips. So it feels like you're starting to, maybe for the first time ever, or coming back into that after maybe you got away from it a little bit. Hyper focused on someone else, something else that kind of took you away from what makes you happy, what makes you feel like you shine, makes you feel seen and heard and appreciated. Stop. Okay, we got B for our Seasons of the Witch. This is the Beltane, yes, which is coming up May 1st. We are moving through these seasons at rocket speed. It's kind of wild. I feel like it's only going to get worse though. Like things are only going to speed up and time is only going to get weirder and weirder. Things are only going to get weirder. So stay in your light, shine your light. Like what's the worst that can happen at this point? Like shit can't get any weirder. Hey, and that's probably too many, but heart is here. Romance. There is quite a bit of love with our King and Queen of Cups on the board. Our Fairy Tale Lenormand cards that came out, we got the Moon, Stars, Snake, and Clouds. So, yes. I'm going to put that there because that's where it feels like it belongs, honestly. I was talking about maybe not being able to see the sun coming out, all of these things. So the clouds coming out could literally just mean that the sky, the clouds are parting, the sky is clearing, and you're going to feel the sun, be in the sun, bask in it, all of these things very, very soon, if you're not already this week. Oh my goodness, yes, wealth. for the astral house that came out. I feel like this week is like the beginning of new home, new attitude, of a, I don't know, I'm getting like new era. You could be finding the home of your dreams. You could be realizing that in order to obtain these things, you need to operate in a different way. So this week is like the beginning of that, a budget, savings, a plan, all of these things. Like you could just be operating in a completely different fashion. And this week feels like the first step of that, the catalyst for that. Maybe you could be discovering something that brings you into some wealth. I'm going to read about this card in a second. We have sun and moon here. Divine, masculine, and feminine counterparts, balance, finding that within yourself is what I'm getting. And just completely letting your light shine onto others as you hope the sun shines on you. That warmth that radiates from the sun also radiates from you, and people long to feel that, experience that, and you are someone that can provide it. So if you feel so inclined, I'm not saying you have to for the sake of others. Like, no, we don't have to do anything for the sake of others, but it is very reciprocal. What's healing for you is going to be healing for other people. What worked for you is going to work for other people, and they're going to share that with you. They're going to bask in it with you. Snake showing up, I don't love, but it makes sense to me, especially if you have some masculine air in your life. They could just be a little bit untrustworthy and snaky. This to me, and that doesn't need to affect you in the least, because again, we talked about discernment, practicing discernment. So you should already, like that, know that these people are not trustworthy, so you don't share anything with them. You don't open up to them. You don't, whatever it is that they're asking, you don't do it, because no, me personally, I actually really like snakes in like the actual animal, not in people though. And this feels like a person, definitely an air sign, masculine, someone who is very cutting with their words, very snaky, very also two-faced. I'm getting there, they say something to your face that is being said completely different behind your back. This feels like it could be someone in a work environment, a client even. I don't know. Let's read about be. Be yourself. Possibilities. Every day, thousands and thousands of hardworking bees travel miles in search of pollen to bring back to the hive as nourishment. Perhaps bee would rather stay inside the hive out of fear of being a tiny little creature in a big wide world, but bee knows it cannot build without the right resources, and that it must be willing to leave the comforts of home in search of more. Bee has sought you out today to remind you that you must be willing to put yourself out there. The universe will provide for your needs, but you must be willing to step outside the box. There is never just one source, and always many possibilities waiting for you. One lost opportunity will be replaced by another, but perhaps wrapped in a different package. One relationship gone will be filled with love from someone who can better attend to your needs, even if this new love is the exact opposite of your usual type. Just as bee travels from flower to flower, you too may need to try different avenues, and trust your inner wings will guide you until your potential is distributed to the right place. Oh, that's so sweet. As you reach beyond your familiar boundaries, you will begin to expand your idea of what is good, right, and possible. And there's no and there. The further you extend yourself, the more resources, tools, people, and opportunities you shall find. B reminds you to keep an open mind, as doing what you've always done will get you what you already have. Consider avenues you would never dream of embracing. You may find a whole new field of flowers from which to pick. Additional Beltane animals. The eagle is a symbol of soaring. Okay, I don't care. I'm sorry. It says eagles and frogs. If you do care, you can Google eagles, Beltane, frog, Beltane. That is what we're going to read from that. So, yes, open yourself up to, I feel like I was just talking about that, doing things differently, embracing new ways of being, thinking, presenting. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. How people perceive you, how you put yourself out there. You can literally reinvent yourself as many times as you need to. You can literally, as the bee was saying, try as many different avenues as you need to, start over as many different times as you need to, in order to find what suits you best, what is for you. And I feel like this week that we're moving into is like the biggest first step in that beautiful, beautiful direction. And I'm so happy that we're finally there. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I love you all so very, very much. And I'll see you next time. Bye.